Hi, welcome to Little Stitches blog. Today we're going to make 3 shirts as part of our goal to make a wearable wardrobe. I'm cutting out currently the Joyce t-shirt from Tiana's closet. Let me tell you, cutting out the pattern was a whole new puzzle that I never thought I'd have to figure out. But I did it. I got it. I know I didn't record it. I didn't think it'd be that hard. But I will do it for the other Tiana's Closet shirt that I am making for this video. But for this video, I am using this beautiful rose pattern that I had eventually planned to use, but I guess I, never got around to it. But we're using up our stash. We're getting everything out. And there we go. So let's see if this pattern fits. I'll before my baby wicks up. Back piece on. Front piece. Nope. There. Yes, I do talk to myself. It is perfect. Okay. I'll put this one up here. This one down here. As you can see, I'm not too picky about where I place things, as long as they fit. This one though, I think I do have to be. Usually I'm not. Okay. Guess this one's gonna go like this. This one's gonna go here. And because we're making sure everything fits, move forward a little bit. No problem. Not gonna fit. Okay. Time to finagle. Okay. If you get anything out of this video, it's that it does work. It can work. Just try something different. So instead of doing it hot dog style, where it's shorter, I did hamburger style and everything fits the way it needs to. So just because it doesn't fit the first time, try something new. Without a doubt, it will probably fit. This is how I get through, I kid you not, maybe 80% of my projects. Just turn it around. That's all. Now I'm going to pin it and cut it. I'm just going to do it on the floor. It's just easier that way. So I moved on to my table for the rest of this. My baby woke up and I didn't want her touching everything she wasn't supposed to. Okay, almost done. Just 3 more pieces to cut and then we can get to sewing. I know rotary cutters nowadays are all the rage, but I've been doing this so long that I just enjoy cutting with scissors. Don't get me wrong, like I use a rotary cutter too. Just not all the time, I think I gotta be in the mood for it. Okay, so the video or the instructions on Tina's Closet website says that after you interface, you're going to sew the interfacings together. At what seam allowance? No idea, but probably at a 3/8. So I'm just gonna go up and go to 1/2, just because that's usually how I do things. And no, it's never been too small for me. It's always worked out. So after you sew the facings together, it'll look something like this. It'll look fantastic. You're going to take your back piece, hello back piece, and you're going to sew the shoulder seams. Sorry, I have all the instructions written down to the side of me. Okay. Sorry, sometimes it takes me an extra second to realize what I'm doing. Words. Okay, and then we're going to sew these shoulder seams as well. And then we're going to attach this and go from there. How it looks after understitching is like you can't see the seam. And boom, seams on the back. What? Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to gather the bottom edge of the sleeves, and then I'm going to make sure they fit here in the sleeve binding. And then I'm going to sew the sleeve to the bodice, then sew the sleeves together as well as the sides. Let's go. Okay, so we're attaching the sleeves because I have already attached the hem, and now we're just going to see which side is which. So this is the longer sides. Whichever side is longer on here, we'll go right here. And I think I have the wrong sleeve. Nope, I was wrong. I had the right sleeve. Boop. Okay, this is the way I like to do it. I like to get both of them in, and then I will work my way. And by doing that, I will try not to hit the camera again. It's like when you're creating a princess seam. So I hold the one that I'm trying to match it up with. So I'll hold like the bodice, the arm slit, and I'll hold it up, and I will fold it inwards. It makes it a lot easier to do that, to connect and match your seams. Because like one of them will be smaller than the other, and that's fine. I just found that this is usually simpler, because then it'll match your seams for you without you having to stretch it. I'm working my way in, working my way in. And there you go. And it'll already somewhat gather it for you if it needs to be gathered. But yeah, matched my seams. Okay, last two steps. So you're going to pin from the sleeve all the way down until you hit the hem. You do that on both sides, and then you're going to hem it. I think I'm just gonna fold it twice. I'm gonna try it on, and then I'm gonna see where I want it to hem, but I'm just gonna do a double fold, and that's it. That's how I'm gonna hem it. Nothing too crazy. Nothing. So here's what it looks like so far. I love the sleeves. I tried it on. I love the sleeves. It needs to be hemmed a good 3 inches. And I can't take the sides in, or else it won't be able to be pulled over. And when I tie these together, it looks weird. So the only option I have is to take this down maybe another 2 inches, so that I would have something to work with. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take this down 2 inches, see how my tie looks after that. Because in case you haven't noticed, the only thing that looks different from the photo is the neckline. The neckline is super constrictive compared to the photo. Now, I don't hate it. I'll be honest. Like, I don't hate it. I just want it to work. So let's see if I can make it work. Okay, so I cut off around 2 inches on the bottom. And I did leave a little space, so it's not exactly at 3 inches down, because you never know, you can always mess up. But something that I noticed recently as my daughter was playing with my machine was that I apparently have a setting for a twin needle. It says twin needle on off. I was like, oh, but your girl's got a problem. I don't have a twin needle, which means I have to wait till my birthday to get a twin needle. But I wouldn't have to wait if you guys follow me on YouTube. I only need 1,000 subscribers. So follow me on YouTube so your girl can get a twin needle and show you how it works so I can test it out. Okay, let's get back to sewing. Thanks for helping. Shirt number 2. I have a 2-way stretch, so it only stretches one way instead of 2. If it stretches 2 ways, then it's a 4-way stretch. And this is the Camilla shirt. Unfortunately, it only comes in one size. So I cut it out, and I'm going to make it more my size. So if you're lucky to have a 35 chest, 31 waist, and a 39 hip, this pattern's for you. If you're not, you're going to be like me. We're going to alter it. I am going to add a minimum of 1/2 inch everywhere, but around the waist, I'm going to add 1 inch. Since it's stretchy, I'm not going to add as much as I probably should, but since I'm adding it not only to this one, but to all my other pieces, it should help. First things first, pin it in place. And you can use pretty much anything to draw your extra lines. I'm just going to use a normal pen, only because my other fabric pen that I normally use is pretty much out of ink. So, that's it. And yeah, you can do this with any other pattern. It's just easier to do to size up or size down a pattern when you have at least 2 sizes. I do not, so we are stuck with where we are. Okay, you want to find the most center of the biggest divot in your pattern. That's usually where your waist is, and I'm just going to add 1 inch. There we go. And then everywhere else, I'm going to add 1/2 inch. And then I am going to just match up these lines slowly. From what I know, there's already seam allowance in here, so it's not like I'm adding seam allowance. I'm not going to add it to the length though, because I'm short. It doesn't really make a difference to me. Okay. just mention that I am doing this slightly easier on the focus I'm going to use on sure what stretches most. Okay, so I already did the front piece, and I did just the same. I added an inch on the waist, and then half an inch everywhere else on the side. I don't need to do the neckline because it already has a the neckline already has bias tape to go with it. Now the sleeve looks a little small for my taste, so I'm just gonna go around, add half an inch on each side, and then I'll be done with all my pattern pieces and I can sew them all together. So my recently has been all down hope for the best in terms of picking out fabric for my projects. I'm trying to clean out my stash, and it's working out pretty well. Let's say some. I'm much more design than others. Can I make anything else with this? No idea. Probably not. Or at least nothing big enough. I'll make it for my daughter. I'll make her a little shirt. Winter. Keep that to the side for myself. Sometimes I just forget. Got kids too. Yep. Probably make her a shirt. Should fit into a 2T. Should be alright. Okay, so the pattern didn't come with instructions, but I'm going to tell you how I'm going to do this based off of everything else I've sewn and things I've sewn in the past, and just, you know, how it makes sense based on, you know, what I've done and so on. I'm going to sew the shoulder seams first. So I'm going to sew the shoulder seams to the front and the back, so the front and the back will be together. And then I'm going to sew on the sleeves so that it'll basically look like a really weird plus sign. So shoulder seams first, then I'm going to sew on the sleeves, then I'm going to sew the sleeves and side seams. And basically we could be done there, but I have the bias tape for the neckline, so I'm going to do neckline with the bias, and then I will be doing hems. Oh, except for the sleeve. I'm going to hem the bottom of it first, and then I'm going to sew the sleeves on. Just because that's going to make it easier and easier for my machine as well, so it just saves me in the long run. I don't have to worry about it. So, let's get started. Oh, good idea. It happens. Would you like to see? Yeah? Give me 1 second. Let me do this. Between his toes? Yes, okay. Where's you? I don't know. It's like she's hiding or something. Okay, last thing to do is just the hems, and then try it on. Yes, I just put it up. I'm just too lazy to change it. Hi everyone, it's time to work on our next shirt. This is the Elsa puff sleeve top by Tiana's Closet. And I didn't realize how confusing their patterns were when I did the Joyce top. So I'm going to show you how I figured out to get my size with the Elsa top. So you're going to need your pattern. You're going to need it all printed out, taped together, whatever you do. And then you're going to need a highlighter or marker. It doesn't really matter. You just need something that's going to show your lines. So when you read the pattern, what they suggest, they tell you that this first line right here is where you sew. So it's your sew line. Oh, gotta get a better pen. Okay, and this one, the second line right here, is your cut line. Now, it can be confusing to find your line when you don't know where your line is. So I'm going to show you how to find that line. I am looking to find how many sizes they do. I'm pretty sure it is from extra small up. But I would like to confirm. Oh, they do extra small. That's right. Okay. So their sizes range from extra small all the way up to 5XL. Now, if you have extra small or 5XL, I think it's going to be a little easier for you. But considering I am in between, we're going to start counting. Now, I have been sewing for 10 years, right? So I kind of understand what you got to do. Everything always starts with the smallest size. Right here, first line on the cut line, because that's what the line we're following, is extra small. I'm a medium, so I'm going to go up 4 lines. Extra small, small, medium. Boom. I'm just doing my highlighter, follow my line down. And that's it. Process where it's confusing. Follow my new line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just see if it can. Back to your lunch. Okay, and then I found a weird line. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just basically just finding all the points at weird intervals and just connecting them. And then you got it done. Congrats. Okay, third shirt. I am making the Elsa puff sleeves, and I'm using this awesome cotton. It's blue polka dots with apples. I was originally going to make a dress out of it, but I decided that this would be a better project for it.
all with like some teacher like themed items? Like a teacher keychain named after you.
Sewing tip: make sure you backstitch at the beginning of your gathers. Makes it easier so that your thread doesn't come out when you gather it.
Ah, shizzles.
So because these are shorter, I only did one line of gathering, but because this is longer, I did two, so I don't have to worry about it breaking. Okay, so super confusing. It's how to attach the back yoke to the front yoke after you've already sewn the lining and the outside together. Now, personally, I would recommend different fabrics, but I did not. So what I did to try to figure this out is I turned my front yoke right side out, and I was playing around with it, trying to figure out how my curves would line up, right? Because this is my back curve and this is my front curve. I decided that what you have to do is you have to open it up, both of them, and you have to pin both the front and the back in a straight line. And that's how it's going to fold up and turn out good. And then both your seams are covered for the front and the back, and you don't have to worry about cleaning them up. Make sure you iron. You can stay stitch, you can top stitch, whatever you want to do, but normally I would clip, but I saw a reel where you just cut it super close to the edge and you don't need to worry about it, so that's what I did. And we're gonna see how this turns out, so wish me luck.
Now it's time to add sleeves and sew sides.
Okay, so this is what the pattern looks like. It is like 3 sizes too big on me, and I did a size medium. I am not that in love with it, so I'm just gonna call it here. I'm gonna just probably take it apart and use it for a bunch of other projects. Um, yeah, very disappointed. Doing these 3 shirts has definitely been a journey. I mean, it happens when you don't finish a project. It just happens, and that's what happened with me this week. It was just one of the shirts, but I'm super satisfied with the way this Joyce shirt turned out. I did have to make a couple alterations. I had to shorten it, and I had to extend the neckline a little bit. But other than that, I'm pretty satisfied. I love the sleeves. And if I was gonna make it again, which is likely, I'd probably use less interfacing with the tie, and I would definitely do a new print. It's just a lot happening here. But other than that, this is probably my biggest win out of all of my projects so far. So yeah, I'm very happy with this one. And the Camilla shirt was a little wonky. I did have to adjust this to my size, and the bias was a lot harder because my fabric was a lot thicker than I thought. But I definitely think it's like a good layering piece. So I would use it for something like this during the winter, which I love it like this, and I can adjust it so that I can hide all the wonkiness. I probably have to re-sew the sleeve just a little bit, but other than that, I'm really happy with it. When you see have the shirt just by itself, it does give off 90s vibes, which isn't bad until it looks bad, and that's what it looks like when it's just by itself. So here it is by itself, 90s vibes, but the bias tape makes the sleeve go out. So it looks just a little weird. Not my biggest win, but it it's there, it happened. It's gonna be a great layering piece, especially since it's warmer. And yeah, I'm pretty satisfied. Okay, guys. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.